Before I get to the topic of today's video, I want to acknowledge that I know my eye doesn't look well right now. I am receiving treatment for it. It's actually worse than it looks right now. The medication I've been given is working, but it looks quite mangled right now, but things are going in the right direction for me. I just happen to have got a decent eye infection. So what I wanted to talk about today is managing life when it feels like everything's falling apart. It's kind of what I've been dealing with during the past 2 weeks. I had my appointment on September 6th. I said I was going to be having this, and I haven't talked about it since it happened. I need to have a knee operation. This didn't catch me off guard. What it has done, though, is made me start thinking about what is important and what I want done before an operation, what I would like done before operation, and the third topic being what could wait. What I've often done, and did so again today, was various pro-con charts. And does one side outweigh the other? And then after having some time to think about it, talking this over with a trusted friend, just to see if someone else has any other concerns or objective input into what I'm thinking. I know it's not always fun talking about what's going on with a friend, and it can make you feel vulnerable. At the same time, I find it comforting in that I'm not going through the things in my life alone. And I find that I do much better in life when I've had time to share what's going on with the people that I trust and the people that know me. I did want to share, though, that there's different friends that I talk to about different items. And I do think this is worthwhile mentioning. Why I bring this up is, I've got a friend that has a really serious spine injury, for example. He understands chronic pain. It's not the same as what I'm dealing with in my legs, but objectively, he understands pain, the energy that uses to be in pain, and sort of the lifestyle that you get as a result of living in pain. And his feedback's valuable. What I sort of need to caution you from doing is, as people, we're prone to confirmation bias. We're prone to getting an opinion or a second opinion of what we already have concluded, opposed to accepting and challenging an opinion where there might be something that's been missed. So where I get this from, in part, is watching various air crash investigations where a pilot gets into a situation and they read the signs narrowly based on what they already think is happening, opposed to taking a more broader view to ensure that they're right. It's an example I think everyone would be able to understand. So if I use an airplane example, if an engine on an airplane stops working and you've got in your mind that you're going to crash, but you've not checked if there's backup fuel on the plane that could be sent to an engine to restart it, you might go ahead and crash your airplane instead of using the fuel that's on board. These types of things have happened, and sort of the easiest example that I could give you. I also think it's worth saying that's not fun talking about stuff that doesn't feel good, but you need to be taking care of yourself as a whole person. And at least I know for myself, I don't do as well when I'm dealing with emotional issues and sort of keep it bottled up inside. And it's helpful talking about what's going on with people who have maturity to handle the various topics. So like with my hamster, for example, Rocky, and his abscess. Yeah, they're a group of friends that are supportive, and here I am living with Rocky, but someone that's understands what's going on is able to provide effective input instead of me being in the situation and trying to make the best decisions for him. I think that might make some sense. So I've been careful to pick over who I talk to about what, and especially focus on accepting what is said to me. In 2018, I took a course for living with chronic conditions. During that course, one of the things that was said was to check if something doesn't sit right with you and to try to narrow down on why it doesn't sit right with you, and evaluating if that feeling sort of overrides logic. So I can give you an example from my own life. There are periodically where I've just wanted to go for a car ride, and just to get out of the house. And it's lifted my spirits when I've done so. It's like during the winter time, it's nice to be able to get out. It becomes much harder because of the issues with my legs. So someone doing that for me has meant a lot, and it's been sort of the right thing at the right time. You have to be able to take care of your emotional well-being while you're going through whatever life is thrown at you, and your life kind of feels upended. Now, the sort of positive spin on it, if you kind of flip it on its head, if everything's not going well, it gives you a chance to reevaluate what you're doing with your life and what you want to be doing with your life. Essentially, I've always had sort of the mindset or policy, if things aren't going well on something I'm working on, to start over again, take a break, or come back to it after a few days and see if it's obvious why it wasn't working, or just start over again and come up with a better plan. And periodically it's been helpful to me to acknowledge things just aren't going well, and it's better to start doing something over again than continuing down a path that's become an uphill battle to complete. And I want to share this as one of the strategies that does work and is helpful. I do think it's also worth briefly talking about the value of rest and prioritizing it. I'm sort of working through this all over again with my knee worsening. And it's going to take me a bit to get it right. But I know that I perform much better when I'm well rested compared to if I'm overtired and trying to make decisions when I'm tired. It just becomes harder. And if I'm honest with you, right in front of me on the stand that the camera's using is my list of 12 tasks that I'm going to be completing over the next 2 or 3 days, and the order that I'm going to do them in. And that's what I've decided to do. I've thought about it, I've talked it over with a few friends, and at least that's sort of the new plan for what I'm doing. And at least I have something to follow, opposed to sort of when everything kind of blew up on me again, when my knee was catching on my knee and I wasn't sleeping well from the pain. And it's helpful, at least for me, to kind of have an idea. And in fact, I try to have a plan for what I'm going to start with the following day before going to bed at night. So if I wake up feeling weak, or if I wake up and I'm in pain with my knee, but things take a better turn later on in the day, I have an idea of what I'm going to be working on instead of trying to decide. Because if I don't have a plan, or before I start doing this, if I didn't have a plan, you get to 7 o'clock at night and you're just trying to figure out what you're going to do, and the day's almost over. And then it can just gain momentum on itself, and then you have 15 or 20 things hanging over you that need completing. So that's sort of how I've tackled it. The only other thing that I'm going to say in this video is just that I want to suggest that you have a way of having fun and enjoyment in your life when you're going through a difficult period. So what I do is play computer games starting sometime between normally around 8:30 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. and stopping about 2 hours later. And there's a group of people that both come on Discord, which is a voice chat, and there's a group that use in-game text chat, and we've got to know each other, and the social interaction has really been worth it. And it's just a little bit of a distraction, a little bit of downtime when life has otherwise been an uphill battle. And I thought it was important to share that it may not seem worthwhile to be doing something that's fun and doesn't attack your project list, but if you're working on it, if you're working on getting things in your life in order, your brain still is working, even if you're not specifically focused on a specific list. And a little bit of fun time might give you some fresh insights when you resume working on the goals that you have for your life. And I've found this different times in my life, or waking up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with an answer and just scribbling it down and then going right back to bed. I've found that taking little breaks are beneficial, and it also gives me a chance to sort of recharge from what would otherwise be drudgery of staying focused on just a list of tasks. There are times where you need to sort of grin and bear it in life and keep pressing forward. But with the internet, there's an opportunity where you don't have to really be alone and feel alone as you're going through it. There's people in my life that I can talk to who had hip issues and understand hip issues. And if you're going through hip issues and you have a group of friends that understand it, it makes it easier sometimes than someone who has no idea what the implications of being told you need an artificial hip is. But it feels comforting to have those people in your life. And that's why I sort of wanted to portray to you. Okay, I hope something in this video will click with you and will genuinely help where you're at in life. And I want to say thank you for spending this time watching today. If you have any ideas for other videos that I should make, please let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.